Are you thinking about going blonde again? Hold on. Before you even touch the bleach, I'm gonna break down the 5 biggest mistakes that people make every time they go blonde, and I'm gonna save you from destroying your hair. Mistake number 1, you cannot do this in one session. Sometimes it can be done when you're seeing a professional, and the chances of that happening are usually pretty slim, especially if you have old box color on your hair. Breaking through that is extremely hard. So mistake number 1 is setting your expectations way too high. Trying to rush this process can lead to so many different things: uneven hair, high porosity, breakage, banding, chemical reactions, you name it. What you should do is find a blonde specialist that you trust, have a consultation, and go over all your expectations, what you like, what you don't like, have photos ready, and they can have a realistic timeline of what it could be like for you to achieve your goal. Mistake number 2, not doing a consultation before the service. If you've been coloring your hair for a while and you're looking for a big change, I always recommend doing a consultation before you start any service. Your stylist should be doing that regardless. Even with clients that I've been doing for a long time, when they sit in my chair, I'm still saying, what are we doing today? Are you still liking the tone? Is there any changes you want to do? All of that really matters and comes into play, like for keeping your clients long-term, first of all, but also just having a full understanding of what it is you're looking to achieve over the next little bit. When you come in for your consultation, bring pictures of stuff that you don't like, bring pictures of stuff that is your end goal, go over pricing, all of that, because when you are looking to go really blonde and maybe you have darker hair or you've been looking to go blonde for a while and it's just not quite there, it can be a big process. So you just want to plan for that as well. And another thing is being completely honest with your hairstylist about what's on your hair. All of your hair history. To us, it doesn't matter. Like if you come out and say like, I've been box coloring my hair for 7 years, like that is totally fine. I have absolutely no judgment on that. Like it doesn't matter what is on your hair. I just need to know so that I can work around that in a way where you're gonna see results and where there won't be any damage. If you are honest with your stylist, the results could potentially be more in your favor, especially on that first round, because if you're not honest, they could have maybe gone about it a completely different way. You can also come with different tones of blonde inspo. That way you can kind of go over that with your stylist and maybe decide which tone is better suited for you. Some are more high maintenance than others, and some might just not be the tone that is achievable on that session. So I would definitely bring in different blonde photos, again, of stuff you like and especially stuff you don't like, so the stylist can kind of go over everything and tell you more of what's achievable between the tones you're looking at. Mistake number 3, and I do see this quite a lot, is skipping at-home hair care. If you go home and you just spent $400 on your beautiful blonde hair and then you go home and wash it with Tresemme or anything that's going to strip out that toner, you're basically just rinsing all of that money you just spent right down the drain. It'll probably last you maybe a week, if that. You want to invest in really good hair care that is going to be healthy and beneficial for your hair. Blonde hair needs hydration. Don't skip out on all your hydrating products. I recommend usually starting out with a good hydrating shampoo and conditioner. If you're not wearing extensions, you can even use something with a little bit of protein in it. If you have extensions, I don't recommend this because the protein can over protonize the hair extensions, and it will dry them out a lot quicker. And obviously when you are an extension girly, you want those extensions to last as long as possible. So that's just a little tip for you. But definitely the hydration, shampoo, and conditioner. Then you want to follow up with a detangling, something that's going to be soft on the hair when you're brushing it with a wet brush specifically. So a detangler, a wet brush, and then I like to go in with my hydrating lotions or my defrizzing products. So I usually will start with a smoothing lotion, a hydrating cream. All of these are leave-ins, so they're not going to leave the hair feeling heavy, but you want to keep that hair hydrated. And then of course you're going to want to use all of your heat protectants, because everything affects blonde hair, even down to the environment. When you're outside in the sun, that affects your hair, smoking affects your hair, all of that will change the tone of your hair. So you want to make sure that you're using all of those products correctly to maintain your blonde. You also want to be doing weekly hair masks, and this is also in the summer and winter. This is all year round. In the summer, I know sometimes you might not think of it because it's not as dry out, especially here in Canada when it gets really dry and cold in the winter. Of course you feel it on your hair a lot more, and in the summertime when it's more humid, you might not think, oh, like my hair is going to be frizzy if I use hydrating products, but that's not the case. If you find that your hair is a little bit more frizzy, you just want to make sure you're using a really good maybe a frizz product or a frizz shield. Moroccan oil has an amazing frizz shield that you use. It's the last step you use before you blow dry, and it really repels all of that moisture. But you do want to keep it hydrated because the sun and swimming and all of that will dry it out a lot. And you also want to make sure that you're using a silk or satin pillowcase. I found that when I switched to those pillowcases, it really helped my hair a lot when I used to be a lot lighter. It doesn't cause your ends to get frayed or break. It keeps your style, which is really nice, so you're not always having to touch up your hair with your hot tools. Mistake number 5, and this one is honestly, this one might be the biggest one out of all of them, and this is also a huge misconception. If you get your hair done and you think that it's maybe a little too dark of a blonde, or it's maybe showing a lot of brass, but not a yellow brass, more of like that orangey coppery brass. A lot of people think that, oh, I'll just buy a purple shampoo and it'll make it blonde. That is absolutely not true. Purple shampoo will not make your hair lighter. If you have really blonde hair and you feel like it's a little bit brassy, and then you are always using purple shampoo and you feel like your hair is dull, that's because it's overtoning your hair. It's not going to lighten it. If anything, when you're overusing purple shampoo, it'll actually make it appear a little darker. What you want to do is make sure that you, first of all, if you're in that in-between stage, go for regular toners every 4 to 6 weeks in between your big session appointments, because a toner is the only thing that will help get rid of like that really dark brassiness. And my rule of thumb for purple shampoo is honestly use it when you only absolutely need to. If you overuse it, like I said, it will dull your blonde, but if you want to brighten your blonde back up, use a clarifying shampoo that's not going to strip out color. There are clarifying shampoos that will strip out more toners and stuff, but there are more color safe ones. I would go for a color safe one, especially in the summer when you're swimming and doing all of that. It is good to use if you're very active, maybe like once a week. But a clarifying shampoo will help to brighten your blonde instead of a purple shampoo. So avoid these mistakes that I told you about and you are already ahead of the game. If you're thinking about going blonde or you've had a really bad experience going blonde, I would love for you to share, so drop it in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us. Thanks for watching.